Python Calypso cylinder calculator with functions. I should probably call it with functions. Using functions? Yeah, that works. All right, we want to plan out ahead of time what we're going to do. You're going to ask the user to enter the radius and height of a cylinder. Calculate the cylinder's surface area and volume. So I've already created the file. One of the things that I'm helping you with is a little to-do. So I'm going to select this, copy, and put this into my file I just created. Actually, I realized I've never created this program yet. So a good chance for me to kind of go through how to get started. So there's my program. How do we import the math module? Well, that's pretty easy. You could import math, but really what we want from the math module is to import pi. Pi is a constant in some programming languages. It is not a constant in C++. It is a constant in Java and other languages. So we have to import the math module. If you weren't sure how to import the math module, then you would look it up. Now when we did this, when I imported this, and this is all easy peasy, we're going to calculate the volume of the cylinder using this formula. Well, each of these is going to be a function. Now you can do OOP if you want, perfectly fine. That's what happens when you forget to start the recording. So we define get volume. We need to bring in radius and height because we got that information from the user, right? And the volume following this formula equals pi times radius. Now how do we square radius? Well, what if we don't know the answer? Well, we can Google it. Let's see, Python square a number. Let's try that. Well, look at there. There's a special operator in Python for making a square. So this means to the power of. So radius to the power of 2. Now normal mathematical notation would have this pi r. So we do want to have this first. So we do that by like that. And then we multiply that times the height. That should give us the volume, right? You do the same thing here. And of course down here this is probably going to be our ask the user to run a program again. Well, you could do main down here if you wanted. DEF, main, not main. Main might be what we do to some programs. But you're going to call the get volume function. And what are we going to pass into it? Well, we'll just do a 4 and a 5. And I'm doing this just as a quick, see if my formula's right. So I'm just going to print it, just as a hard and quick, dirty way to see, is this thing working right? Well, the problem is we've calculated it here, but this variable only exists here. So what we need to do with volume is, of course, return it. We need to go both ways with our variables. We want to bring our variables in, make our calculations, return the variable. Now, of course, a better way to do this is to assign it to a variable, right? One too many there. And then we print the variable. There. All right, let's see what answer we get with our hard coding, if it even works. It didn't work. What did we do wrong? Well, we defined the main, and I can tell you I've done this. If you define a function without calling it, what happens? Nothing. So I forgot to call the main function. Now we're cooking with gas. How do we find out if this is correct? Well, I'm going to depend on calculate the volume of a cylinder, right? Radius, height. Same formula. There's our little picture. I forgot the numbers already. Let's move this over here. It was like 1 and 4 or something ridiculous. What was it? Oh, 4 and 5. So if we put, let's bring this back up. If we put 4 and we put 5, we should get more or less 251.33. Let's see if we do. Wow, look at that. 33 would be rounded from 7. So this works. So as you're building your program, don't do the whole thing at once. Build little pieces. Test them out as you go. Build another piece. Test it out as you go. That is called agile development, where you do something one piece at a time, test it out, do another piece, test it out. There we go. See you later. So, want some extra credit? Send me a little, email me a little description of agile development and remind me that this is for extra credit for Calypso's cylinder calculator.